Hey, how we doing? Welcome back to another episode of Muscle Matters, or better yet, should we just kick it off like, finally, Muscle Matters has come back to your live stream. And if you notice, my co-host Ricky Staneki's not here. AK Blake. Did you watch the video?
No.
Oh, you didn't watch the video?
I didn't.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's an 80s rock guy on roller skates.
Okay.
With a perm.
Oh, he's got the perm.
Yes, and that's why when he questions, he goes, Ricky Staneki, I go, brother, perm. It's all in the perm. So tonight's episode, since we're without my co-host, my running mate, we're going to do Ask a Meathead. So I want you guys to take the answers that I give you with a grain of salt.
Ask a Meathead.
Because I was punched in the face and the head a lot, and I probably suffer from some sort of early PTSD, dementia problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, and speaking of getting punched in the face, I did this really cool thing last week with my Dr. Weiss, and it's this really cool thing, and I forget what they call it. Once again, I'm a meathead. I don't understand big words. And it's a therapy that they put balloons up your nose. And if you go and self-promotion, if you go to my Instagram or my TikTok, Silverback Batman, you can see the procedure. We did it live. We sped it up. Where Vice is putting these balloons in my nose to alleviate pressure. It's a trip. Like It feels like a stuck sneeze. Like when he elevates the balloon, you know, when you sneeze, and get out. And so it feels like a stuck sneeze. But this is the first time that I've been able to breathe out of both nostrils, and I couldn't tell you how long. So, and it's been a week since it's done, and it's a 4 or a 5 week process, and each week is a different pump. This week was 1 pump, next week will be 2, and it'll go up to 3 and 4. And it's alleviating. If you've got sinus problems, headache problems, if you've been hit in the head, suffer from AB disease, you know that post-concussion.
AB?
The football player, you know, when you get hit in the head too much, AB's the poster child right now for that.
Okay.
So if you have those problems, what do they call that? Post-traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
It's good for that because it alleviates pressure. And the way he explained it to me is our brain has a fluid that uses the sinus passage to get out. And when it's blocked up and locked up, the brain is swelling and it can't get rid of the fluid.
Huh.
So when you get a concussion, the brain is bouncing. And so you get swelling and you get fluid. But if you're blocked up, it has nowhere to go. So that, you know, probably why I had a fat head for so many years. Like maybe my head has shrink down and I can fit like in regular hats.
Huh.
But
I wonder if there's any relation to like when it warms up, like today.
Yes,
I got a headache.
Yes, and that's because there's pressure. You have pressure up there because sinus pressure. What causes pressure? Because something is stuck or plugged, and you can't relieve the pressure. So the sinuses have the brain has a path that allows the sinuses to drain the fluid out of the sinuses. So he opened that up, and it was weird. Like it was a lot of old blood and snot that came down. I spent the rest of the day. So, wow. But I just think it's amazing. I've had a really great nights of sleeping, and I have a sleep apnea machine.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first time, probably since I've ever had my sleep apnea machine, I'm literally getting the full benefit of the machine, where it's blowing in there and not blowing into the brick wall trying to find a hole to get through.
So who did this for you?
Dr. Weiss, Hybrid Health. Hybrid Health, they're located over at NAS Power and Collective Gym. You might want to look on their
They're
Instagram
inside
page.
The gym?
Yes, they're inside of both Collective and NAS Power.
Okay.
Like I said, it was really cool. He's been talking about it for me for about 6 months. So he's spent the last 6 months perfecting it. And it's really cool. Like I said, it's weird to breathe. Like I can feel the air back up by my eyeballs. And I was like, like there's, your nasal passage goes all the way back up there.
That's wild.
Yes.
That's crazy.
All right, so let's go with this Ask a Meathead, and where Mike's going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to try to sound smart.
All right. Well, I like to take this opportunity to ask the selfish questions.
Yes.
Right. So, but one of the things we were talking about before the show was about active recovery, right?
Yes.
So, first of all, what is active recovery?
Active recovery is ways to heal your body. And most people think active recovery is sleeping and eating. Yes, that's at the top of the food chain, is of sleeping and eating. If you don't get enough rest, no matter what you do outside of the gym, you will not be able to recover. But if you look at, we'll use top level athletes, Tom Brady's and things like that. You see them doing the hyperbaric chambers. You see them doing the ice bath. You'll see the athletic trainers on the sideline massaging and rubbing them out. So there's a lot of different ways you can go. You can get the scraping, you can get the cupping, you can get a good massage therapist. A good sports chiropractor is something good as well, because we get knots.
Okay.
And you want to have somebody get rid of those knots, because those knots are literally the muscle built up with toxins. So the one thing we have is DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So when you're sore, that's toxins stored in your muscle. So you want to be able to get those toxins out. And when they start creating knots, those are like, I got my nose done. I said Vice is really good. It made my nose breathe really well. You want to have somebody that can get those knots out. And you see a lot of people, they run around with a massage gun and they do it to themselves. Having a massage gun and having it done professionally are miles and miles and miles and miles apart. Miles apart.
I bet.
It brings out the little girl in you when they go ahead and they slam these little different things in there. Evan and Vice are awesome. They're over at Hybrid Health. Lucy's awesome. Brent's another one that's at the Hybrid Health that's really awesome. If you can't get over to Hybrid Health, self-promoting, I really like them a lot. Joel is really good over at ProMotion.
Yep.
So Joel's really good at ProMotion. Manny at Muscle Therapy, he's another young man that's really good. There's another young lady going that's good. I'm going blank on your name. It starts with a Z. I'm so sorry. I get hit in the head a lot. I don't want her to get mad at me, but
she might hit you in the head too.
So not promoting, but she's really good. So there's a lot of different ways you want to do it. The cupping, the scraping, the ice bath. I really wish I could do that one. The little girl definitely comes out in me when it comes to ice bath. I used to do what is that, Arctic Wellness, where you go get the cold chambers, until I went on a hot summer day and I got frostbite on my nipples.
Dude, so we're getting some questions from the audience here.
Yes.
Our friend Billy Elliott. What's up, Billy? So he asked, we can't see it. Josh, just move your mouse. What do you do about fasting 16 hours with the 8-hour window?
Okay, now you probably what's the guy that's really popular right now? The guy that's really popular right now, he does the blood testing. I'm going blank on his names. Like I said, I get hit in the head a lot. I ate a lot of paint chips as a kid. He promotes the fasting. So the people forget that you are fasting while you're sleeping. So if you're looking for some type of fasting window of the 16-hour, and I forget the guy that's promoting it. So the best way to do it is you move your dinner up. So if you go to bed around 9, you have your dinner about 5. That's a 4-hour window there. If you get a good 8 hours of sleep, you're at 12. Then you just move your breakfast back. So if you go to and you get up around that, what is that, 6 or 7? Like I said, 8 paint chips. You give yourself 8 hours, and then you push your breakfast back another 4 hours. There, right there is your 16-hour window. It's nothing crazy where it's got to be a whole 16 hours where you're fasting 24 hours and you're going to bed. Factor in your sleep in that 16-hour fasting window. That makes sense.
Yeah. Does that help, Billy? Awesome, man. Thanks for chiming in, Billy. So yeah, that's a good question too, because
yeah, it's a gentleman right now that's really popular on he's getting a lot of Tom and I talked about him. I'm going blank on his name. He does where he lets you know about the aging of your body. You do the blood test and he tells you this is how old that your body is. You're based on these things right here. Take these minerals, break these trace minerals, and they'll do it back. And he's really big on the 16-hour fasting.
Okay, this is like, outside of my world.
I had the same thing when he said the 16-hour fasting. That was my same thing. Like, bro, I ain't going all day without eating. You must be smoking crack. It's not happening. I like food,
right?
But when you factor, he tells you to factor in your sleep. So you factor in whatever your sleep window is, because that's a fast. Technically, you are fasting while you're sleeping, unless you're a fathead like me and gets up and eats in the middle of the night.
So Billy says that's basically what I'm doing. I start a fast for an answer I needed from the Lord. That's what kickstarted it.
You know what? The Daniel fast is always a great way to fast. And
that's an easier way to fast, right? I mean, it's still difficult. But
the Daniel fast is a little confusing because people think that Daniel just gave up meat. Daniel didn't eat. So,
okay. Well, but when they do the Daniel fast for the churches, they just eat vegetables.
Yeah, yes, and it's Now, always when you fast, you always go into fasting with prayer. I mean, I've been doing this whole series on fasting, and trust me, that's one of my biggest thing. I like food. I'm waiting for God to be
Right?
like this. Hey, bro, time to fast.
I just fasted for like 30 minutes.
Yes,
I'm good.
yes, Lord, I didn't eat since noon. You know, that's a lot.
Right?
And a lot of people, once again, fasting is not recommended if you have health problems. The good Lord is not going to get mad at you if you do not, if you can't fast. So if you have health problems, your fasting window is a lot smaller. So your fasting window is like if you have kidney problems, you can't go all day without eating protein. If you have some sort of diabetic problems, you can't go all day without balancing your sugar. So giving up a certain window of time where you know that it's right around there, and you during that window of time and during your window of fasting, you actually step and you read your Bible and you step in your fasting in prayer. And so if I'm going to fast, if I can only fast for 2 hours because I have some sort of illness, that 2 hours should be dedicated to fasting with the Bible and prayer. So it's a more of a meaningful fast. And when you fast, don't wear it on your face. Don't walk around, because then the good book even says you're no different than the people who are just the Pharisees who are doing it for the people to know.
Well, Billy said he did a fast for 6 days. He got his answer. I did a fast for 3 days, and that was tough.
Yes.
No food. We did water.
I did a fast for 12 hours. I was like, Lord, you sure? I got to go 24?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yes, and it's when you look into fasting.
6 days,
yes, I'm very proud of you. And there's
Billy.
Yes, well, the one thing is the hell doesn't recognize you until you start really getting past a couple of days. Like, it's when it gets serious. I don't recommend anybody to fast like Jesus and Abraham and the rest of those good
40
guys.
days.
Yes, bro. I'd fast for 40 days. You'd be trying to figure out what happened to me.
Okay. So back to active recovery. What is the benefit of
active recovery? What you're doing is you're getting all the toxins out of your body, because the body is a human storage. Most of the time we don't drink enough water. And when you get your massages and these different cuppings and scrapings and whatever your form of active recovery is, make sure you're drinking a plethora of water. When I got my quads rolled out in a month or two ago, brought out once again, it brings out the little girl in you. I forgot to drink my water. Like, legitimately, I forgot to drink water that day. And I woke up the next day and I was very, very sick. It was like a 24-hour flu, because all the toxins get trapped and they have to get released into the blood. And the only way we can release toxins is through urination. And we want to get as much water in, because the kidneys can only filter out so much, and they've got all these things coming in. So you want to make sure you get a lot of water back into your system. Electrolytes are another thing to get back into your system. If you start getting, I don't want to confuse you guys, but glucosamine is another good thing to get back in your thing. Glutamine is another thing to get back in your system. But just drink plenty of water. Mineral water is another good way to go, because you're getting the minerals back in.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's after you get rolled out, rubbed, scraped, whatever your form is.
So you talked about getting all the toxins out,
yes.
Right? So that brings up an interesting question. I had a conversation this weekend with somebody, because I've talked to you about this. And I don't know if anybody else has a problem. I imagine they have to, right? When I travel, and I recognized it wasn't just by plane. When I travel, my guts just like turn inside out, right? So someone told me, or friend of mine, hey, you should try a cleanse. So what do you think about that?
Now, is your gut turning inside out on the trip home?
Nope.
Or the trip over?
Just like the whole time I'm gone.
Because I will never do a cleanse in a strange toilet.
No. I wouldn't do that. No. I wouldn't say I would do a cleanse while I'm there. Just a cleanse in general, because my gut's probably messed up.
Okay, now,
like maybe like once every few months or something.
Yeah, no, that's very recommended. A metal detox is something you should do once or twice a year.
Okay.
Charcoal, seaweed, ashwagandha. That's something you should have in your system. Yeah, you should cleanse out at least once or twice a year, because we have miles and miles and miles of intestines, and it just backs up.
Yeah. That's probably part of my problem, right?
Yes, and we eat processed food. Most of us do not eat enough whole vegetations.
Right.
A lot of our vegetables come from plastic bags. So once again, even though we think we're getting vegetables, we're actually getting processed food.
Yeah, well,
because it's not a real vegetable. We need to go to the farmer's market and get a real vegetable and cook it. No, most people aren't going to do that because without the lovely chemicals on there, those vegetables are going to last for a day or two.
right. Well, the other thing I noticed, and I don't know if this was just timing or I just took a break or I took enough Imodium or Pepto or because I took all that stuff. But when I got home, I felt much better, and then I eat a lot better when I'm at home than when I'm on the road. Right? Just naturally, I'm going to.
Well,
it takes a lot of effort to eat healthy when I'm away from home.
There's nothing like your bed.
Right.
End of the story there. Like, I travel because I used to do a lot of traveling, and I take my own pillow with me. I take my pillow with me. It's my pillow. It's my personal pillow. It's broken in. That's what goes with me. Sits on the plane. That goes with me to every hotel.
Right.
I take my personal pillow because I sleep like a princess. I joke around with it all the time, but I sleep like a princess. I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress. I have all these different things, and I'm a princess.
Dude, when I go out of town, I got the sleep mask, earplugs, 4 pillows around me.
Yes. So now you go from this bed that you have broken in, it has your spot.
Yeah.
And then you go get on a hotel bed that's probably it's a spring bed they picked up from Best Party Rentals.
I was pretty blessed on this trip. We went to Mexico. We went to Mexico to build a house, so it was a mission trip. But I had a really comfortable bed.
You were blessed.
I was super blessed.
What the funniest thing to me is, you stay.
I had the bed. I told the guy because it was like an interesting housing situation and everything, and people had to share rooms and everything. And I was like, listen, let the girls. It was half girls, half guys. It's like let the girls have the pick of whatever they want, blah blah blah. And so I was like, I don't care. I'll sleep on the floor. I'm here to serve, not here to get served.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, somehow I ended up with the best bed out of the whole thing.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. I've stayed at these resorts, and the beds are crap in the resorts. The beds are actually better over the other motel. I don't know if maybe they have more mileage and better broke in, but they're better over here than in these resorts.
Right.
So people value sleep. So what your stomach being thrown off is nothing crazy. You've got crazy flights, vertigo setting in. You're somewhere you're not getting your meals. You're eating some type of food that you're not used to.
Mexican food and ensenada.
Yeah, that right. I'm going to leave that there. Oh man,
it was good.
Yeah, I bet it was. You've never had rat like that before, huh?
Oh,
rat
man.
and pigeon.
That's funny. But anyway, is there anything I can do to solve that? One and two, I don't know. This probably goes hand in hand, but I'm going to ask you a series of questions and let you kind of run with it. But one, is there anything I can do to solve that problem? Or is it a cleanse or is it something else? Two, when I travel, what can I do to generally eat healthy as it goes? And then three, is this just a function of my age and getting older, or is this a function of like not eating well, a combination of all of those things? What is it? And I'm gonna let you run with that because I know you can talk for like 20 minutes.
We'll go with the old thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I'm not even that old.
When you're 18, 19, 20, you can go eat hot dogs on a corner.
And feel fine.
And perfectly fine. As we get older, the cast iron starts to leave our stomach. I don't know if it rusts, it gets a hole in it. I don't know what happened. I always joked I had a cast iron stomach, not the case.
I did too.
There's certain things I can't eat.
I could literally eat anything when I was 20.
And so now that we've gotten older, and I don't know if it's maybe because we just we have less bacteria in our stomach as we get older. The lining of our stomachs melted away. It would take somebody like a doctor to explain why it happens, but as we get older, we lose the ability to eat the food we had before.
Right.
Our body just does not take well to it.
And it's probably because we were eating that food, because we probably shouldn't have been eating in the first stinking place.
I don't think I drank water till I was 30.
Right?
Like, oh, my pee's brown. Like, whoa.
Dude, I barely drank water until like just a few years ago. And Tom said, oh yeah, you should probably drink a gallon a day. I was like, on it.
Yes. So you factor in that, then you factor in you're not out of town. You're out of town. You're not getting good sleep. There's just even when you travel, I do not like to travel because I never feel me. I do not feel me. Me does not exist. I can sleep the proper hours. I've got my machines. I've got all these things. I don't feel me. Even the shower doesn't feel me. It feels like I have a film on my body, so I don't feel me. So a lot of times it's just you don't feel you.
Feel out of place.
So now your body's not, especially if it's a time change. So I forget what the Mexico time change is.
No,
so-
it was the same because we're in Baja.
okay, and once again, you've got different foods.
Yeah, way different foods.
Most of our food in America is heavily processed.
Right. The food down there is probably better for you, frankly.
But yes, and so now your body's not used to breaking down real rat. So the rat that we get is like ground into our hamburger meat.
Right, with insects, bug parts in there too.
So you know,
printed by a 3D printer.
Yes, Bill Gates. Yeah. So you've got these situations. So so factor in the age. Your body can't do what it did. It can't digest what it did. It's still out of place. You're not getting the proper sleep. There's nothing like sleeping at home. There's peace at home. I don't know if anybody out there has ever been robbed. You lose your peace.
Mm-hmm.
You never quite get your sleep back. You've got to leave that home because you never get your sleep back. Being out on the road, you don't get your peace because it's an unfamiliar territory. So you don't get a chance for your stomach to settle. Using the restroom, you're with how many people?
Like 20.
Or do you get 40 minutes to sit in the toilet with 40 people?
No.
So at home, it's your throne, right?
Right.
You, TikTok, and whatever else you're going to the bathroom with, it's your throne. Hey, leave me alone. So you get a chance to alleviate yourself.
Right.
On the road, you don't get a chance to alleviate yourself.
And it's probably stress, right?
Your body is not at a rest.
And I do what's interesting, I'm sure other people get this too. Let us know in the comments if you do. But I do get stressed when I go out of town, but I don't think it's just the stress that we consider normal stress. I think it's just like everything is stress on your body, right? So traveling, lack of sleep, changing time zones, different foods, being away from your family, it's all stress and it all combines, and that probably plays a factor in it too.
Yes, and the water of Mexico isn't that great either.
We didn't touch the water.
But
we're smarter than that.
No, yeah, you did. You took a shower.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It didn't go in my mouth,
but it still absorbs through your skin.
You're right. You're right.
So you're still getting a bacteria.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should probably do a cleanse.
But that one hit the minute like I got to San Diego, we spent the night. Like the next morning, it was like on. So before we even got into Mexico.
And once again, that's the stress of flight.
Right. Well, I didn't fly, but traveling in general.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So now we wanted to talk about like how do we stay in kind of continuing on this theme, how do we stay like fit and healthy when we're like, especially like a young man like me who's busy and frankly, like I can say this because I've talked to a lot of people and they've verified this. I'm busier than most. So I'm always running, and when I'm not working, I'm with my family, and you know how much my family's priority to me, Steve. So my question is, how do you maintain your fitness when, like I talk to my friends, if I'm going to do a 30-minute workout, which I know you are not for a 30-minute workout, right? You're for a 30-minute workout over a 0 workout. I know that, but it takes an hour to do. So I'm better off doing something at home, which I've started doing, by the way, recently. Squats, push-ups, sit-ups, just kind of like, hey, I'm not going to make an excuse that I can't go to the gym. I'm just going to do something that I can do at home. Right. But what do you do to maintain our, like, really, frankly, American lifestyle, right? Still make time to make your family the priority, but still stay in shape with your eating and everything else.
You're not going to like this answer.
I'm not. It's all right.
You have to be selfish.
Okay.
You have to be selfish. Either you be selfish for yourself now, or you're going to be selfish to your family later when you're sick. Because somebody is going to recommend that you do some sort of movement. If you're not moving now, by the time you get to my age, there's going to be a doctor that's going to tell you you've got a clogged artery, you've got something going on, and you need to move. So either you be selfish now for your family. I mean, it's the easiest way I can tell you. Either you be selfish now for your family, so when you get older, you're not a burden.
Okay. Because
you're going to have to move.
Right.
Because it's no matter what you do, stuff is waiting for you. So a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. So if you're not moving around, you're waiting for things to happen. So you just have to be selfish. You have to look. It's no different than when you pick up your Bible and you read your Bible. You shut your door and you read your Bible, right?
Yeah.
Same principle. So when you're reading your Bible, don't read it. Put your ear pods in and give yourself 30 minutes. Put your pods in, read your chapters, find a study guide, put it in your ears. When I work out, that's my best time to listen to preaching. I work out for 2 to 3 hours, and I listen to 2-3 hours of preaching, and
Okay.
so that's my time right there. It allows me to not to have anybody bother me while I listen to preaching, and it allows me to kind of conjoin my selfishness.
So what do you think is sufficient in that season of life when you have young kids? Like, 2-3 hours in the gym, that's
Well,
unrealistic,
like
right?
30 minutes, and then when you go to your cardio, you take your kids to the park.
Okay.
Just look at your
There
kids.
you go.
Just take your kids and go, hey, we're going to go to the park. We're going to go for a run, and we're going to go play frisbee. So there's ways of doing active cardio. Like I had a young man that he and his wife wanted to do bodybuilding shows, and they both work 12-hour days.
Mhm.
And I go, you know what, this may not be the best thing for you guys because you have to have some level of selfishness in order to do this. So I recommended that they get their dog and they go for a walk as a couple in the morning. Get off the machine. You don't need to be on a Stairmaster for a machine. Go for a walk. Take your dog, hold your wife's hand, and you guys go for a walk for an hour in the morning. And it's the easiest way to get in your cardio while still having a level of commitment and what's the word I'm looking for? I told you I ate paint chips. I got hit a lot. Being together.
Okay. So I will say, like, we regularly, probably at least once a week, we'll go for a walk or a hike or
Yes.
Go do something fun as a family.
Yes.
And we're active. Like when Ludavia and I do, we do take the kids to the park. When we do take our kids to the park, we're not just sitting there on the bench. Like, we're out playing with them.
Now, you know that there's several parks in town that have exercise equipment.
There are.
Yes.
I know the one, the Riverwalk.
Riverwalk, Truxton, Silver Creek, and that's just the 3 I can think of off the top of my head. But several of them have these stations where you can go and because children that see you exercise
Mhm.
will mimic you, just like
Yeah.
a child that sees you reading your Bible will mimic you. A child
Yeah.
that sees you praying will mimic you. So if
That's
a
a good
child
word.
sees something that's going on where you're active and healthy, your child will mimic that.
That's a good word.
And if nothing else, it puts a foundation down for them to go like,
Okay. So next question.
yes.
So that makes sense. And I feel like I'm actually starting to like make some great steps in that area. And if you guys are watching, like, and you guys are in that same area of life, like, take that advice. Like, you don't have to make it hard and spend an hour and a half in the gym and driving 30 minutes each way. You can go do something with your family, work out at home, right? Do body weight stuff.
Yes. It doesn't, like I said, you don't necessarily have to be in the gym. You can go out and do different things.
I have my dumbbells,
Have
right?
you-
And
have
I
you
have my
ever-
squat rack and
Burpees are great. That prison style burpee stuff is great. It's complete all body. You're getting an active form of HIIT and cardio, and you're able to use muscle. So the gym is only a requirement if you're trying to be on a meathead level. If you're not trying to be meathead level, and then you don't really necessarily need the gym. And a lot of places are going to hate me for saying that, but you don't necessarily need the gym. The body just needs to be active.
Did I tell you I tried to do the workout you gave Michael, and we were doing the legs,
Uh-huh.
and I did the what was it, the walking lunges?
Yes.
And you said 10 sets of 30, is that right?
10 sets of 30 steps.
10 sets of 30 steps
Uh-huh.
each leg.
Yes.
So I think I got like halfway through that, and my legs were like, nope. And I literally I couldn't move anywhere. I was like, okay, I guess I'm done with this workout.
Well, and that
But that's what you can do at home.
yes, like I said, weights are not required unless you're trying to be some sort of meathead. The body just needs movement. The heart just needs movement. The body doesn't necessarily need muscle. For a health, you just want your heart, your lungs to move and be active and it's like having a sports car. If you don't go and clean out the carburetor, it's going to back up. That's why you see these big top end sports cars, Lamborghinis, Porsches, they're always at the shop because they never get a chance to open up. So it's the same thing with the human body. If you don't give the heart a chance to open up and flush out the blood. Remember, we were talking about the toxins that are stuck in your muscles. So you have toxins that get stuck in your body everywhere. So you need your heart to pump and clear out the blood. Get to let the kidneys flush, and so if you're not doing anything to get your heart up to an active speed to pump out all the toxins, they're just sitting in your body and they're waiting for it to come back later on to be some sort of horrible disease.
So I think I'm actually doing better in this department than I even gave myself credit for.
Good.
And because I do all of those things.
Because in your mind you think
I need to go to the gym for an hour and a half.
Yes, you,
Yeah.
you didn't have to
Because that's what I did when I was 17.
yeah, but at the same time, if you're at home and you're doing these workouts, you're doing it with your child. So once again, you're not having to be overly selfish. Your child
Right.
is establishing things where they're like, oh wow, this is cool. I'm working out with my dad. They'll
Right.
never
And
forget.
he loves working out. the
They'll
older
never
one.
forget it.
Yeah. So I actually got a lot of exercise this weekend when we were building that house because I'm swinging hammers and sawing and
Yes,
and
yes.
getting up and down and on my
Yeah.
knees and up and down ladders. And
Yeah,
we played soccer one day. So
you lost me at ladder.
yeah, you might break the ladder if you climb on it. But okay, so last question. How do you manage food? Now I eat great at home, right? Because Latavia does a great job of feeding us pretty healthy. But when I'm traveling, it's not going to be the same. So, and I know there's been times where you help me with a shopping list, and that can be effective. But that was effective because I was alone in my room and I didn't have a lot of people around me, so I could kind of do that. But if I'm with a group of people and like constantly on the go, and like it's really like you have to be in restaurants because you're in business meetings or whatever, what do you do there?
The only way to work around that is to book a kitchen, to have a hotel with a kitchen, because then you can make food for yourself. I remember I did one of the events I did. I bought all these meal preps. I bought it from this company that had them all shipped, and they shipped it on dry ice, and they showed up and they were great. But like you said, working 14 hours on the floor, there is no place for me to microwave my food.
Right.
So I was having to go get different foods and different things. And so you just have to make the best of it. I took I had salmon packets, tuna. This is my lifestyle. So the things I do, I have my tuna packets, my salmon packets. So I have them on the floor and I'll eat the salmon packet in the back room, drink some water. So I have a healthy food, but at the same time, I don't have enough calories to sustain for the day. So I'll get a pizza, but I will be in the back and I'll have a salmon packet. I'll have a tuna packet. I'll have something to make it, but not everybody, like I'm used to eating plain gross food. So it doesn't bother me. When you're out and about and you're doing situations like that, you just have to make the healthy choice.
Okay. So pick the most healthy thing on the menu.
Pick the healthy choice. Don't get the cheeseburger and fries.
Right.
You need to be like, okay, cool. I'm trying to leave a healthier lifestyle. Let me get that chicken.
What about steak with the gorgonzola sauce on top?
No. You get a steak. You can get a steak. You just got to be smart and go, instead of those mashed potatoes, let me get the baked potatoes. Let me, and substitute butter for margarine. This smarter choices. Let me not marinate this whole potato in this. Let me get the greens. Maybe I don't have the potato. Maybe I just have the mixed vegetables. It's just about being smarter with your eating.
Okay, awesome. So we're about to wrap up here. What last words do you have here, Steve?
Last words.
Give you the final word. This is your show.
If you guys, I like the fact that we had questions come in. I think that's awesome.
Thank you, Billy.
I would love to see more of that. It really helps out a lot, especially on an episode like this, where we titled this "Ask a Meathead." So it's really cool because a lot of times we're just shooting it, and it's really what the questions. I like that, and I thank you guys for being active with us. So please, once again, subscribe, follow. Leave more comments so we have them later on. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear about your disagreement, because like I said, I ate paint chips and I got hit in the head a lot. So send us home there.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys for watching. If you have an opportunity, go check us out on Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating, review. Let us know what you think about the show. That just helps us to grow in the algorithm and continue to do this for all of you.
Don't have an Android. It won't let you do it.
We'll figure that out. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Have a great day. God bless.